What's up, everyone? So it's been a long time since the last video. I've been just really busy. Obviously, I think I mentioned in the last video I had bought a house, so obviously been doing quite a bit of that stuff. And then, work's been pretty busy too. Been running a lot of crane, learning quite a bit about that industry, so it's pretty awesome. Been doing some machining on the side, of course, per usual, and then also been doing some tuning on the side. So been quite a bit going on, but we are going to uncover the car because it is cash at the creek this weekend. So the injectors are out of it, but it's time to put them back in and get the rig ready to run again. First track outing. Not really gonna race competitively because you have to, but you can test afterwards. So if I get knocked out, don't really care. We'll just test. So be kind of fun. Haven't had it out yet. Kind of just been too busy for it. So time to uncover it and get some injectors in and go racing. All right, so it is the next day. So the injectors are all in. See there, over there. So we're looking good. So one thing I did this year, I actually put a laser ride height sensor on, so that'll be cool. I have crankcase pressure, also cool. But I decided that I was going to plot out my entire suspension system on CAD. So there's all my measurements basically of angles, lengths, all that stuff. So then I could draw it out as it sits and then plot all the rest of the holes from there. So after this, we talk a little bit, I'll show you that. I'll make a video on my computer here and you can kind of check it out and see. It's pretty freaking neat. But so then I kind of just sat around and did some math, looking at instant centers and stuff like that and seeing what, I could do to make this thing not wheelie so much, because that is the goal, no wheelies. So I came up with, if I moved the upper bar the lower bar on the chassis side down one hole, it would push my instant center out quite a ways and lower it a tickle. So I've also seen people say that what makes a car wheelie is a short and low instant center. So now it's a little longer, but it's still kind of low. But I've talked to other guys with similar cars, similar weights, similar power, and I'm kind of right in their rough number of, instant center and things like that. So we'll try it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did I make the wrong move? Did I not? Obviously, probably by the end of this video, we might know. But yeah, I'm just interested to know. So I wanted to try it. The math seems to be mathin', but we'll never know until we get it on the track and see if it'll wheelie or not. So basically before it would go like a 122, 123, not pick up the front tires. But then if you tried to go any faster, it would go like a 121, but it would do it on the rears. So I was kind of limited to that. So I kind of want to get away from that. It's a tickle nose heavier than it was before. The car is overall a little bit lighter. Not sure how much that's going to help. Some people say bull horns help. All this stuff. Just be interesting to see what exactly happens. But the goal is to get the wheelie out of it. So for the race anyway, go out, we'll make our test hit. Probably just run it to the 330 because that's all I care about. And then for round one, if I'm winning, I'll keep going. If I'm not, I'll let off, because I'm just really after testing. So it's hard to find good testing time that's relatively close to home nowadays. Rock Falls does most of their test days on Fridays, and I have to work on Fridays, so I can't make it out there for that. Then they got all their bracket stuff going on Saturdays or whatever. And Grove Creek just doesn't have a whole lot of test days. Every now and again they do, but figured it'd be fun. We usually like to go to the Cache at the Creek race anyway and just watch. So it's like, we might as well bring our car. We can put it in. If we win and we keep moving on, like not win the event, but if we, win round one, we'll run round two. We'll do it just how we normally would. But if that's not the case, the true reason we're there is to test. So, and that's perfectly fine with me. Rock Falls is pretty expensive to get into. The entry fee at Grove Creek, it isn't horrible. So it all balances out a little bit. So I'm not too, the cost isn't, not like I'm spending a fortune, just to go to a race and test only. So it's not a whole huge deal. But yeah, it's kind of my plan. I got the diaper on, kind of just gave everything a once over. Everything looks really good. Bars in the back were all good and tight. I already made that adjustment, so we're good there. So I'm probably gonna fire it up here in a few minutes, but let me pop down on my computer and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there it all is. You got all your suspension holes, your zero locations, you know, all the axle center line, all that good stuff. And then you can draw in your actual angles and extend them out to find your instant center length, which you can do that to that. Oop, my bad, wrong one. Let's do that again. Measure that to that, and you get one. Then you can go this to that, and you can get the other one. So pretty freaking cool. You can kind of, you know, see what you're gonna get just by doing that stuff, which is neat. And I don't know, I think it'll help at least to learn stuff, and then I'll keep track of notes, obviously, and we'll just see what happens. But this is a free version of Fusion, and so it's not that hard to figure out, and there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to do it. So if you want to do this on your car, it really costs you absolutely zero money, just some time messing around. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I think it'll help out quite a bit. So I'm going to fire this thing up and we'll see how she sounds. All right, it is race day. Time to put this baby on the trailer. See how the cold start goes. Well, she's all loaded up, but it never fails. Pull it out of the garage and it starts sprinkling. So that's cool. You can't even tell really on camera. Oh yeah, there you can. Crazy. So we're gonna tape the hole up on the hood just so some of the electronics in there don't get all nasty. Still gotta get that hole filled. I just haven't found anyone to do it yet. She looks good. Turbos are covered. It runs great. Should be. All right, so as you've seen, we were all loaded up, ready to go to the racetrack. And I didn't film anything per usual, besides, you know, hits and stuff like that. So I'll just kind of go through what we were doing here. But first, I wanted to quick show you the inside of my house. So here is our kitchen area, a fish tank. We did put all new appliances in there. Not all new, I bought them all on Marketplace and stuff like that. So worked out pretty good. And then here is our backyard. It's huge. And then it even goes beyond the woods, way back. And then there's like a big parking lot turnaround, probably where a future shop will go. And then this is my 3D printed crane. It's absolutely enormous. It's like 500 plus screws to put the thing together. It took me like a week, but it's unreal. And it's 7 feet tall. So you can see it's over my head a good bit. I think it's pretty badass. So we had a good drive out there. Everything went really smooth. Of course, you know, it's just gotta rain once I get it out of our garage and ready to rip, but didn't rain at all for the rest of the time. Got up there, we got all teched in. My chassis cert actually is expired and I forgot about that, but they never looked at it. And I know the guy had seen the car out there a few times, so he wasn't too worried about that. But I had my diaper on and had everything else, so we were all good as far as the safety goes. So then we pretty much I already had kind of a tune-up in mind that I wanted to use. It was like 4,600 on the leave, 9 pounds of boost, 22, 23 pounds out the back was the plan. And so, you know, it makes about the same horsepower that the LS did on 22 pounds. So I was like, that should be more than enough to, you know, at least kind of pick up right where we left off. And I didn't really want to beat on the engine top half of the track because it just doesn't make sense because you just don't know what it's going to do in the short half. So I wanted to get the short half right before we really start putting any power to it. So here you can see the first test pass. I was super nervous. Like, it's been a couple years since I'd been down the racetrack. Obviously, it's the first hit with pretty much everything being different. So I was very nervous, but you'll see how it all went here in a second. All right, guys, so there you've seen it, the first pass. Like I said, you know, it was 9 pounds of boost, 4,600 RPMs, 23 out the back, no boost curve, no timing, nothing like that. Just a pretty generic tune-up. It went pretty good. It went a 135 60 foot, which is just way too slow. You know, my whole plan was to just bail out at the 330, no matter what, really. But it's been a while since I made it past, so it felt fast. And so I'm like, well, we'll just stay in it and see what happens. And I was glad I did. It kind of gave a good starting point of where we were at. It went a PB on the mile an hour for me ever in the 8th mile. So that was pretty cool. And the ET was not horrible for not really having a ton of power in it at all and having such a slow launch. So that was good. So round 1, drew my good buddy Carl. He's got a lot of laps on that car. He's been really fast. So I knew that I was pretty much outgunned unless I really just winged for something. But you know how it is at that point with a new build, you just don't really know where it is. I mean, could I have put more power in it than I did? Absolutely, but I just don't know what it's going to do. I don't know where the line is. So we decided that we'd turn it up a little bit. I believe I went up to about 5,000 RPMs. No, it was 4,800 on the hit, and I put like 2 or 3 pounds of boost to it. So it should have been leaving on like 10 or 11 was the goal. And then I left the same 23 pounds. Like I said, I kind of had already made the decision that I didn't care if I won or not. I didn't care if I moved on or not. They said they would have testing. So I'm like, perfect. I'll just test after, you know, if I get eliminated. So basically, if he was out on me and I got to the 330 and I wasn't going to catch him, I was just going to peel out of it. So we got a tune-up all ready to go. And yeah, loaded her in and you'll see what happens. I am sorry, too. I tried to run my GoPro and I never really looked at the thing before I put it in the car, but on the front screen, it's got a front screen and the big back screen. The front screen never really told me anything, so I just hit video and it said it was recording, but the SD card was full, so it never took any videos of anything. So that's kind of sucky. I didn't get any cool in-car stuff. Nothing really exciting happened in-car, but it would have been kind of, you know, interesting anyway. Oh, and on that first pass, it did haze the tires a little bit through the shift, which if you noticed, the burnout was kind of crappy. I wasn't really expecting. I just didn't really know what to expect when I did the burnout, so I knew it was spinning the tires, but just not nearly hard enough. So it kind of, I didn't have to pedal it or anything, but I could just feel it haze them through the 2-3, or through the 1-2 shift. The 2-3 happened way too late. Probably don't have enough power in it to really do that right now, or I should switch the gear, but whatever. So here, pass number 2 coming up. So you can see there, I did get beat pretty bad, and I figured that's how it was going to be. Like I said, just no information on it. Purely my own fault. It is what it is. But didn't care a whole lot. All I was looking to do was see some sort of improvement from pass 1 to pass 2. And we did. So it went faster with the 60-foot, still not nearly as fast as it needs to be. And it went faster with the 330, still not what it needs to be. But it was better. So that was a great start. One thing that I noticed even on the first pass and then into the second pass when I gave it some more, it just, like the LS, if you wanted 32 pounds of boost, as fast as it could do it, it would do it in like 0.3 seconds. This thing, all I wanted was 23, and it was taking it like 1.2, 1.3 seconds to get there. So adding some RPM, I was hoping was gonna fix that, and then adding a little boost on the hit, well, I was hoping was also gonna fix that, but it just didn't fix it enough. So that's where the slow 60-foot's coming. I mean, we're leaving on, a good bit of power. I mean, 4,800 RPMs it is a lot. So that's probably going to come down to being a torque converter thing. And I only got one more hit after this. I was really looking to have a fourth one, especially after I seen what happened on the third one. That would have been nice to just try one other thing, but it's probably all right that it didn't happen because I just really think it needs a converter. But with only getting one more pass, that was kind of okay. There was a pretty unbelievable wreck shortly after my pass, and I've never been in person for a wreck like that before. It was unbelievable. Good friend of everyone's, Troy's, he pretty much runs the whole event. He's got a beautiful newer Camaro. If you've been on Facebook or follow 1320, you've probably seen some photos of it. It was unbelievable. Very happy to see him get out of that car and be all right. I mean, he's pretty banged up. Probably, I think he got some broken ankles or something, but it could have been way, 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 way worse. I mean, you see wrecks like that online and stuff like that, but being there in person, it was insane. Never seen anything like it. Hope to never see anything like it again. So glad that he's all right, that he was able to even stay at the track for the remainder of the event. Like, he was in pretty good shape for how bad that whole thing was. So very happy to see him all right. Very happy to see the event go on. Very happy it was nothing more than, it really sucks losing the car, but at least that was all it was, is just losing the car. So shout out to him. Hopefully he's doing all right. But yeah, so then the racing took kind of a while. They had a whole different format. They had a 535 index class in there. So then it was 4 full classes running: big tire, small tire, DOT, and then the little gangsters index class. So kind of switched up the way the racing was a little bit. Like before, they would do testing all the time. Like if you didn't want to race, you could start testing before the actual race even started. But now they kind of just kept saying that, testing soon to come, testing soon to come. So we waited around a long time before we even got to go up and make our third test hit. But third test hit, I think I put it on like 5,100 RPMs and like 13 pounds. And then I actually pulled like 4 degrees of timing right off the trans brake just to see if it would help it light up at all. And so we'll see. I'll show you that video and you can see what happened. So there, once again, you know, it picked up everywhere. Again, it wasn't as big of a pickup as I wanted, and I wasn't totally sure if that was because I had pulled that timing out of it, that 4 degrees for like 1 second. You know, that was the idea behind that, was to hopefully help the turbo spool up a little bit, but it might have just hurt it as far as power goes. So basically after that, one more would have been great because I was gonna like go for it a little bit more, but it's also okay because we were just kind of trying to band-aid a converter that's just too tight. And it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to gear it a little bit more towards the 8th mile racing stuff. So obviously more power is gonna help, but I don't think it's gonna overcome, you know, just how far kind of off the rear gear is itself, or even the converter. Maybe just switching the converter might do quite a bit to it. And then you can switch the gear to tighten the converter back up if it's a little bit too loose. So we'll see. I mean, not quite to that point yet. Been so busy here the last week that it's taken me a while to even make this video. And then I haven't even touched the car since I drove it back in the garage. So now I got to get it back up on stands and pull the transmission out and get the converter sent off and do all that stuff. So hopefully next week I can get a little bit of time and go and get that done, because that would be great. Because August 23rd is the next race. Seems like it's far away, but it's really not. It's gonna bang, it's gonna be there. So, but yep, the car did pick up again and it ran good. Everything went good. I was kind of thinking, or even early on, that the top end of the track was a little slick because it did rain pretty good overnight there. So it kind of hazed him on the 1-2 again. You know, I got old tires on it. I got new ones here in the basement that probably would maybe fix some of that. But yeah, so I didn't even make another pass. I didn't really feel that it was necessary, because if I wanted to put power out the back, I didn't know if it'd take it because it kept hazing the tires. But yeah, so it was just all around, it was really good learning. Just having it out once, even getting just 3 hits on it, I think we did really good for having 3 hits, and now I know exactly what we need to change, hopefully, to make the thing go faster. I'm gonna try to go pretty fast on that 23 pounds of boost. Obviously, I'll be working with the launch and stuff like that, but I would like to really get after it and have it run a pretty solid ET before I start turning it up. But at the end of the day, it was great. We drove the car on the trailer. We didn't get home till like 2 something in the morning, so we unloaded the car down the road, so firing it up and all that wasn't gonna be super loud on the neighbors. I just kind of rolled in the driveway and pulled her in the garage and shut it off. And the thing run good. It's got great oil pressure. It holds fuel pressure. Just everything was perfect. So it was just huge. I really didn't want to break it and have to spend any money. You know, I got a house now and bills and other stupid things like that. So it was that was another nerve-wracking factor of the whole thing. So it was great that it ran and it did everything good, and I don't have to spend any money on it if I don't want to. If I don't want to race it for the rest of the year, I don't have to. The thing still runs, and I can still take it out to get ice cream or do whatever, you know. So all that was pretty good. It was a successful first time out. And now we know what we need to change, so that's good, instead of sitting around wondering, you know, oh, I wonder what the thing would do. Like, we got an idea now of where it's at, so I think car's only going to get faster from here. Every pass I was doing was getting faster. It would have been fun to run it out, but like I said, the front wasn't there, so it ain't really worth anything to see what the back does. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. I'll try to make another one here soon when I pop the converter out. But yeah, overall, really happy. Everything was just really, really good. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hopefully I'm back with another video soon. I know it's been a while, but I'll do my best. Take it easy.